Welcome back to the KOAM Morning Show. We have Lori Horton joining us in studio, and she's going to show us. Good morning, Lori. So today we're making cocoa butter cookies.
We are. We have to start this Monday by saying thank you to Chris for bursting that illusion that I was 4 inches taller.
Oh, great.
It's fine. It's fine. This is all fine. We're fine here.
As long as she can reach the bowl
As
and
long as I
stir
can,
properly,
yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Cocoa butter cookies, awesome recipe. We are at that time of year. We're kind of kicking off the Christmas season now,
yes.
right? Thanksgiving is over. If you like to do cookie exchanges, maybe at work or with the girlfriends, with the family, this is a perfect one for that. You can make them not too big. They're great to have multiples of, and they make up a little bit ahead. They freeze well. All of the above. So we're starting with a cup of butter that is softened, not melted, just softened, kind of room temperature. We're going to start to whip that up a little bit, just kind of get it broken up. And all I'm going to add to that is some powdered sugar.
Easy.
Very easy, very simple. We're just going to cream that together, kind of like you would in some recipes with just your butter and your granulated sugar. But we're doing powdered sugar in this one.
Why powdered sugar? Does that change the flavor?
It doesn't change the flavor a lot, but it changes the texture.
Gotcha.
So this cookie, actually, when we get done, we are not going to spoon it. We're not going to spoon it onto our cookie sheet. We are actually going to pipe it from a bag and make a little design
One of these
with it.
little
One
guys,
of these
right?
little guys.
Yes.
Now is not the time for the Ziploc baggies. This is going to be a little too stiff for that. But it'll still be really soft for a cookie batter. So it's going to be one that will take a little bit of elbow grease to pipe through that bag. I'm making like a little fog here.
Just don't get it on my shirt.
I'll try not to. I'll keep it all on mine. Don't worry. We got to make sure this is really nice and thoroughly incorporated. And once we have that all done, we're going to add just a little bit of vanilla. And this can be your good dark vanilla. It doesn't have to be clear.
Okay.
If you like the Mexican vanilla or whatever type you like, it's fine. You're going to just make this flavor your own.
Got it.
So once we have that all done, we're actually going to set this one aside. And then we're going to take all of our dry ingredients and we're going to whisk those together. And we're going to make, that's going to be our chocolate, our cocoa part. Okay.
Interesting. All right.
Then we're going to slowly incorporate those two things together.
So wait, no egg?
No egg.
All right.
I know.
Very easy then.
Very, very easy. What we're adding kind of in place of that to make this cookie nice and stable and rise is going to be cornstarch, which is not a typical cookie ingredient.
No, I would say.
It is a little bit out of the ordinary. Let's set this aside. Try not to make any bigger mess than I already have.
You're doing great.
Doing great. And we've got a nice, just fluffy sort of a batter here with our butter, our powdered sugar, and our vanilla to start with. So
super easy. Super easy ingredients. I'm sure everyone has those lying around. So
everybody's got them. Everybody's got them. This part
right.
the kids can help with. Like you say, again, at the end, you're going to have to kind of get in there.
Well, let's wait for the next segment, Lori, because we have more coming up. After this, we'll be right back.
Turn all new Kitchen Nightmares tonight on Fox.
Welcome back. We're joined with Lori once again to continuing to show her and us the cocoa butter cookies.
Yes,
All right,
two.
Step two. Where did we leave off?
We left off. We got that butter and powdered sugar and vanilla all whisked together or whipped together nicely. And then in a separate bowl, we came over here with our dry ingredients. So again, pretty standard fare for a cookie. We mixed some flour, cornstarch, which is kind of the little bit unusual ingredient. Some recipes have it for cookies.
Do?
That's going to give us a really nice texture to these and mixes well with that powdered sugar. Little bit of salt and of course our cocoa. So if you're looking for a really fudgy cookie, this is not it. This is a cocoa cookie, similar to like a shortbread, like a chocolate shortbread.
A little lighter then.
A little bit lighter. Good. So we whisked all of those ingredients together, and then our last step is going to be to mix those in kind of small batches into our butter. But we want to make sure that we sift that in there, and you can do that really easily.
So elegant, Lori. You just got that Midas touch.
I'm telling you, just so simple. But we want to make sure we don't get any major lumps in there, because the last step for this cookie batter is going to be to actually pipe it through a piping bag onto our parchment paper to bake.
Pipe dreams.
All right, and so we don't want those little lumps that are going to clog that tip up or make any mess. But we don't waste, so we get to the end, just kind of run that last little pieces through there, and they'll come right on through that whisk. Not a problem. So we've got all of that cocoa in there. Usually it's the cocoa that has the little lumps.
Okay.
And I'm going to mix the last of that into our dough, and you'll see it's already very, very stiff. I'm going to find my right. There it is.
Oh yeah,
Right camera
see
there.
that?
Already very, very stiff. It's almost, and I hate to use this analogy, but it's almost a chocolate Play-Doh at this point.
All right, so you need a lot of elbow grease
A
here.
lot of elbow grease here. This point, we are not using our mixer.
Why not?
It's just not going to do it.
Seriously?
Unless you want to buy a new one.
Okay.
If it's a good excuse
pointers.
to just get rid of that old one and ask for a new one for Christmas, this is going to be your recipe
That
to go
thick,
ahead.
all right.
Final nail in the coffin. So we're going to mix the last of that in, and then we are going to take this very stiff dough and we're going to add it to our piping bag.
How? Because it is so thick.
It
does
is
this
very
really
thick.
work?
So you want to add small amounts.
Okay, that's
you're
the key.
you're not going to have the strength to really do that otherwise. And this is not the time for those cheater Ziploc bags. You've seen
It'll
us
bust
use
it,
those.
yeah.
It'll just tear it right open. Thankfully, it's not going to be super messy because it is pretty dry. But we're going to use an actual fabric piping bag. We're going to drop that tip.
What is this tip?
This is a little star tip, and you guys probably can't see this very well. I'll try and take
There
this
you
over here.
go.
See the little teeth on the end of that
Uh-huh.
as we come through there? It's a fairly large opening, and we're going to drop that right down into our bag. And behind that, we are going to put a little, very small amount, get the last of this dry ingredient mixed in here, into that bag, and then we're going to pipe some little stars on there. When we come back, we're going to talk about how quickly that bakes, but also just some extra little topping on there to kind of give it that last little
little
chocolate
razzle
flavor.
dazzle.
Yeah, you know I can never leave well enough alone. So those last little steps to make it kind of fancy and again make it nice for those cookie exchanges and all the little things we've got coming up for the next few weeks.
Perfect. All right, well, join us because we have more coming up right after this.
It's a beautiful morning, Scotty, and we have an early game to...
The gift of connection at US Cellular. New and current customers get any phone free.
Welcome back. Lori has been showing us how to make her cocoa butter cookies, and we're
Yes.
now on the very last step. So what do you
Very
got for us,
last
Lori?
stage. So we've got this mixture, and it is very much like almost a chocolate Play-Doh. You
It
could
really
very
is. The
much just
consistency is pretty much the
take
same.
this and make a dough out of it. And of course, at this point, you can just break off some pieces and roll them into a ball and put those onto your parchment paper to bake. You don't have to get that fancy. You can put them on there.
We have options here.
We have options. Press a little center. You could put a little Hershey's Kiss in there
Love-
too
that's always a
before you bake.
classic.
But if you want to get really fancy with them, we've loaded a little bit of that dough into our parchment bag or into our piping bag. But what I want to do is see if you can squeeze that out of there.
Oh, really? Put me on the
I
spot
know.
here. All
We'll
right.
see how strong those hands are.
What is this stuff, Lori? Oh, it's like cement.
It's very,
All right.
very sturdy.
There's my little dollop.
Yeah, that's a little small for a cookie.
I can't. Oh my gosh, my hands. So you want to have
So-
a really strong
Want to have a
person
really strong
to help
person,
you.
or you can actually use this in your spritz cookie gun if any of you are familiar with that.
I am not.
Even for
Look
me,
at you go. Look at you
this
go.
is a two-handed operation, and my hands are pretty strong. So as you can see, it doesn't, it's not a sticky dough at all. We've done some that are very gooey, sticky doughs. This is not it.
Yes.
So, mix this and do this as far as your pieces according to what you have equipment and strength for.
My hands hurt.
Oh, we've broken her. But you can just take this and make those little dollops. The fun at the end, again, is you can just sprinkle some chocolate chips in the center of that
Okay.
before it bakes. You can add that Hershey's Kiss in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Get some of those pretty little red and white Christmassy peppermint ones. It's
Oh,
delicious
jazz it
with
up.
the chocolate. Don't go plain on this. Bake those off. But again, as we usually do, we want to make sure we have that parchment paper on there so that they bake really nicely. And when they're done, then all you need to do is take some chocolate chips and melt those.
Okay.
And then you have a couple options on that. If you've made your pretty little piped ones like I
you
have
are.
over here, two pieces. Oh. You can take these and drizzle them, or you can even just dip them directly into
Oh, look at
your
that.
melted chocolate chips and just give it a nice solid little chocolate top piece to it. So you've got kind of
Beautiful.
some different ways that you can do it depending on how much more chocolate you want to add to that.
Yes.
I like a little bit more to it because again, it's just a soft cocoa-y flavor. go big or go home. If you're going to go
Absolutely. It's the
chocolate,
holidays.
add a lot of chocolate. So, you know, do this and add the chocolate chips. Do this, add some crunched up peppermint candy canes. Do something fun with it to just give it a little more of a boost of flavor.
Yeah, it's because it is really beautiful. If you guys are strong enough to do this, you can see like the design. It looks
Yeah.
very Christmassy.
Absolutely. And again,
So-
if you have that spritz cookie gun, it's a very traditional style. Yeah, you
Right?
just kind of pop them out there like a shortbread cookie, and you can make all the different designs of your little discs that are on there, and they're really fun. A little bit different with that
They are
chocolate flavor.
very cool. Well,
Yeah.
Lori, as always, we love having you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And you can find this recipe on our website at koamnewsnow.com. We'll be right back.